right in the heart of Soul Bullet.
Yeah. I think it's platinum, man. Don't wipe these feet when they enter the land. I feel a cold stare. Think I ain't looking. Maybe because I'm focused. No hands out for the hopeless. Funny bullets, I caught two shots. Another piece of the puzzle connected dots. You can find the truth and laugh and liquor. One more shot to an empty bottle. If you don't walk there like a model for me, like I don't see her intentions all in my soul. At a time we were just friends, with it right for the hand. That's the show, stay broke. But we still got hope. Don't take my word. Just back and issue that raw dough. Just back and issue that raw dough. Back and issue that raw dough. To the people that listen to my repo, they know that I do better. With their hands in the air, rocking side to side. I'm all work, yeah, time to ride. Where my niggas at? My niggas ain't my niggas no more. Push me to the bag. Wait for the change up his way. I do it for us, I'm for bad. Don't rock it the shit, yeah. New beats, all type of African shit. Just rock it, take fades. What I tell a man. Polo colors and black kings. Just polo colors and black kings. Exclusive shit, I get with it. Keep it coming, just don't stop. The revolution starts with a shot. Bang.
And I want to represent my people. And I don't want to be a bad representative. I can't be blind, let the blind lead the blind. They're all fighting shit.
Now my mama said, baby, act like you got sense. He act like I only act right for rent. You're living in purgatory, brown nose of the heaven. Not sure if I'm getting in, cause I ain't paid the reverend. Who looking at me when I ain't looking, judging my character? I can't put down my guard on this planet, back in the camera. Ready for my close-up, the lens gets bigger. Won't put me on BET, cause I am not a nigga. My heart is like a powder keg, ready to explode. Smell like strange food, cause I'm America's cologne. It started with the hello, think you're a nice fellow. You're ballin' like Carmelo, we treat you like a fellow. LARs, we the stars, turn a rapper to a prophet. Bulletproof 306, keep your hands in your pocket. Jordan rules for my life, you contain them, can't stop them. I'm making sky high so the clouds can't drop them. My life is like a miracle, my words are just superior. I'm edible, I'm audible, I'm digital, I'm visual. Spit like Komodo, go like Bruce Lee, boy, beating the mean as bad as Mofo in the dojo. Life is so amazing and raps like Jesus. They said hip-hop is dead, but today look like Easter.
Salute, family. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to the Black Ocean. This is your host, the Great Black Shark. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, they hit your boy with a strike on the main channel. Yeah, the hit dogs, they hollering, they yelling. They heard some stuff they didn't like on a Patreon broadcast, believe it or not. Yes, on a Patreon broadcast. It wasn't anything on the main channel for regular content. It was a Patreon broadcast about child abuse of all things. And for my Patreon subscribers, I'm going to do a more extensive version of that. It was my fault. I should have put it up in a way where it couldn't have been flagged. Got careless, so part of that was on my fault, but that broadcast will be going back up, and it will be more exhaustive and extensive in detail. Okay, so if the shoe fits, you must chew on it, and I'm going to be talking about that tonight. Not going to keep you all too long here, but we're going to be talking about why the truth offends a lot of people. You see, hit dogs will always holler when the truth affects them, and if you caught that Patreon broadcast, you would know that it was a segment of our society that probably was those hit dogs. But if they thought that the first broadcast was bad, oh, they hadn't seen nothing yet. Oh, man. See, one thing about me, if you hit anything on my channel, I'm going to come back and triple down, which is what I'm going to be discussing here. I have an announcement tonight. I have a big announcement here because it's something I should have been done a long time ago. But I finally decided to go ahead and get over to another platform that has less censorship. So yes, what you're looking at on the screen, this is my one and only official Rumble channel. Go over there and sub to my Rumble channel. In fact, I'm going to drop the link in the chat here so you all can go over there and sub to it. It's the only one. This is the official Great Black Shark Rumble channel. As soon as we get 100 subs over there, we're going to be cooking with fish grease. I'll be uploading content on there periodically, but definitely once we get those 100 subs over there, oh man, we're going to get it cracking over there. We can talk about a lot of different things over there without all the puke tube censorship. So, oh, it's going to be some interesting times over there. It's long overdue, so we're going to rumble with the truth over there. We're going to rumble with the truth over there. But now that I got that out of the way so everybody knows what happens, they're going to have me in puke tube jail for like the next 7 days on the main channel. So we'll be over here on this channel for those 7 days. And after that, we'll be kind of coming back over here to get our numbers up over here. But tonight, we got to go into some other topics about some hit dogs. Okay. So as you all know, Horseshoe Crab Hairline having Stephen A. Smith decided to take some shots at us, right? So now, I didn't really waste my time listening to that entirety of his little screed that he went off on his so-called podcast. Didn't waste my time with it at all. But I did get sent a clip of something and I said, you know what? I'm going to have to address this. I'm going to have to. You know, I know a lot of people like, why do we keep giving them attention? Well, the reason for that is when these bootlegs rear their heads up and try to poke their chest out like they're running the yard, we have to kick them in their chest with the B1 truth. So I'm going to play an excerpt from his little podcast here, and I'm going to point out something that I got to go ahead and just pretty much debunk and chop to pieces here because this dude is a tether, okay? He doesn't represent all of our Caribbean brothers and sisters, okay? But we're going to have to get on him because he's out of line, and when you get out of line and you particularly take aim at the new black media, we're going to answer you back. So, like I said, without further ado, let's get into what old boy Stephen was saying. We're going to break this down.
Barack Obama. He was just the president of the United States. See, we love him now. But when he was in office, he's not doing enough. Before that, when he was campaigning to win office, he had to give a speech on race because of his affiliation with the Reverend out in Chicago. And when he didn't say certain things, or he didn't elaborate extensively as much as people wanted him to do, Black folks then were talking about, well, what's he supposed to do? He can't say this, he can't say that, because he's trying to get elected. But then when he got elected, you couldn't understand how he had to maneuver his way through that political terrain in order to strive to get things done. Make up your mind.
See, let me stop it right there. This goes to show you how far out of touch Stephen A. Smith is with any of grassroots black society. Anybody that's everybody understood that, yes, a lot of people did have faith in Barack Sambo Obama, but after people that had sense saw the light on that, nobody was rocking with Obama, and we still don't to this day. He's probably still thinking that most of black society loves Barack Obama. Not anybody that's on code with any sense love Barack Obama or the Democratic Party. Okay, and no, that doesn't mean go run into the Republican Party. But this horseshoe crab hairline having bastard jumped on this podcast and had the nerve to say this. Now, I want y'all to listen to the rest of this crowd because it's just a small clip. We ain't going to go through this whole thing here. I'm just going to briefly touch on this because you have to make clowns out of him and Roland Martin. And we do it to hold them up as an example of what not to be to younger black men and younger black people in society. We have to shame them and hold them up as the pariahs that they are every chance we get, because at no point do we want them to be looked at as legitimate sources of information to especially any young person. Okay, our job is to completely delegitimize and demoralize them every chance we get. So I want y'all to listen to the rest of this crap he's saying here.
Make up your mind. It never stops.
So as you hear it, he was going on that tirade about Barack Obama and talking about we were singing his praise and all that other goofiness. Stephen A. Smith, this is where he wish he was. The photo with Jerry Jones, because you know I extensively covered that on my main channel. You can go check out that broadcast. It's still over there. But this is what he wishes he was. He's basically, if he could have been there at the time, he would have walked his ass out there and been Jerry Jones' little pet Sambo. That's exactly what he want to be. He thinks he's a little dark-skinned white man. That's exactly what Stephen A. Smith thinks he is. And see, bootlicks like him, we got to learn that in society, the dominant society uses them to undermine us every chance they get. All you have to do is throw them a few little crumbs, pat them on the head, and the next thing you know, they loyal to Zaddy for life, okay? Loyal for life, just like cockroaches. I take that back. That's an insult to a cockroach. But I want to show y'all something else about Stephen Sambo Smith. I'm going to show you. In case you wonder why he's so loyal to Jerry Jones, and, he defending Jerry every chance he gets. Every time you turn around, Jerry Jones is in his mouth. He go after anybody that bite your legs off if you say anything about Jerry. I cracked the code. I figured it out. And I think a lot of y'all probably remember this too, but I'm going to show it to you again because, see, it's embarrassing, and I'm going to teach a lesson with this when I show this, right? Because, see, this, you know what? I'm going to let y'all see it, then we'll break it down.
Now you know if this is me, I got to show up in a big time way. I can't just show up in Big D. I can't just show up in Frisco, Texas. I can't just show up at the Cowboys facility in just any kind of ordinary fashion. I need you to be here. Nah, so I'm in a helicopter. What I got next to me, niggas. Look at this.
Did y'all hear how excited this Super Sambozo was to be in a helicopter with Jerry Skeletor Face Jones? Oh my! This is embarrassing. Look at that damn that boy hairline is pushed way back in the middle of his damn head. This is ridiculous. He looked like one of them Koopa Troopers off Super Mario Bros. That's what the hell he looked like. But see, this is the difference between the tethers and us, right? Most of us, foundational black Americans, freedmen's, whatever name you want to use, we would have enough dignity not to be all tickled pink to be riding in a damn helicopter with an old stomped down white supremacist. This is pathetic, man. I mean, look, he basically the equivalent of a heifer getting flued out, man. That's exactly what he is up here. But see, I'm doing this for a reason because, see, this has to be pointed out. anytime any of us, even those from our own lineage, are this happy and overexcited just because somebody in the dominant society does something for you and they just eternally grateful for life, these are the Negroes that are descendant from the ones that we shouldn't have let come off them plantations with us. That's the truth. Because, see, think about it. He's more excited than some women would be to be up there with Jerry Jones. Seriously. If you think I'm exaggerating, you know what? I'm going to let y'all hear the rest of this. Just listen.
Hey, they said he was coming to town. I had a big choice to get him a stick horse or a mule or take his cow.
That boy got all the teeth in his head showing, man. Look at him. At some point, man, see, you know an FBA brother or sister would have more dignity than this. And see, I hate to say it. It's not all, but it's enough to say most, enough to be a problem. This is the average interaction between a tether and anybody in the dominant society. They worship these people, man. Look how he looking at this man, dog. Look how he looking at this man. This is pathetic on a whole brand new other level, man. I mean, there is no way. You know what? I'm gonna let him finish talking because we got a lot more to get into tonight. We ain't gonna keep y'all on tonight, but I had to get on this when I saw this. I was like, oh no, I'm not gonna let you make it on this one, buddy. All that high talking and hard talking he was doing towards us, and you sitting up here in a helicopter getting flew out by old white supremacists with all 32 of your teeth in your head showing, smiling so hard to the point you about to cut your own head off. Oh no, I had to give him the business on this. Listen to the rest of this foolishness.
Boy, helicopter out here. Well, I got to thinking about it. And if I could possibly get him on that helicopter and scare him real good, then I might get him to recant years and said about the Cowboys. But I know one thing, he loves me up here today because he ain't going down until I get that out of him.
This is my buddy right here. This is my buddy right here. I'm trying to get back safe.
Listen to this bastard, man. Do my buddy right here. Do my buddy right here. I'm trying to get back safe. Oh my God. You know what Stephen A. Smith looked like? Stephen A. Smith looked like one of the Muppet Babies, don't he? Look at him. Tell me Stephen A. Smith don't look like one of the damn Muppet Babies. That's exactly what this motherfucker looked like, man. I ain't lying, man. This right here, man. This lets you know that the circle of men that he hang around, they must all be just like him. He can't have no thorough brothers or sisters that he friends with. Not from our lineage, because we would clown you for this. We would clown you this giddy to be with this. Oh, God, man. You know what? I'm going to let him continue. Let him continue.
I'm trying to get back safe. Will it make me decide to love the Cowboys and their Cowboy fans? I believe this. First takes in the house.
This present.
Now, I had to go ahead and get that clip out the way because, see, we're going to tie this in to the comments that Stephen A. Smith made when he was talking about, okay, our getting on his case for being a Sambo, basically, and being so apologetic towards Jerry Jones. I got a couple of Grandmaster teachers we're going to hear from tonight on that, and it's going to underscore the importance of our position as foundational Black Americans with our unique position in this country that no other group has. And see, I don't expect a tether like Stephen A. Smith to have the kind of integrity or investment into our people that we do because his story is not our story, okay? And see, this is why we have to be very careful about that damn tether class because they come over here, they get in positions of politics, okay? They get these on-air positions like Stephen A. Sambo Smith. We have to watch them, man. We have to watch them and make sure we stay on code to work against them undermining us. Because, see, I'm going to let the minister here explain exactly why we must remember never, ever, ever, ever to take our foot off the gas, and we must remember what we're fighting for out here, despite the Stephen A. Smiths, the Candace Owens, the Roland Martins, and even those Sambos and tethers that I just throw them over the tether class, even the ones from our own lineage. I mean, because at the point when you start betraying us and you start undermining our people willingly and deliberately, and you're not a child that needs to be taught, when you do that as an adult, I throw you right on over there with the white supremacists and the tethers. But the minister is going to eloquently put this in perspective for those of us that are out here in the grassroots doing work in whatever capacity that we do it for our communities and our people. I want y'all to listen to this.
Generation of white people can say, we never did nothing to no black person. And some of you can boast, and in truth, you have not. But you live deliciously from the sweat and the blood of those who reaped down your fathers and grandfathers and great-grandfathers' fields.
And those people, as we all know, were not Stephen A. Smith's ancestors. They were our ancestors. Stephen A. Smith comes from the Caribbean. Same applies for any of our continental African brothers and sisters. No disrespect to the ones that are not cooning and buffooning. But see, you don't come over here on our land where we belong and did not flee from, tell us what we don't deserve, and tell us that it's not a big deal when an anti-black racist like Jerry Jones is found out to have been an actual white supremacist, because if you was out there with that mob, you was doing what they was doing. I don't give a damn what nobody else says. He was not just sitting there observing. Now, there's nowhere in hell you're going to make me believe that. Okay? So, that being said, the minister is going to break down and emphasize exactly why we must always call out the Sambos and the Coons and keep our foot on these people's necks until they give us what we're due. They will cut the check one way or another. Let's let them continue.
We fought, bled, and died to make America free. For you, not for us, evidently, because we haven't been free yet. Our bodies are on every foreign battlefield to make the world safe for democracy, but not for us.
And Stephen A. Smith and his ancestors can't say that. Because, see, if you came over here during Jim Crow, you had a homeland to go back to. You could have left. This is why we exclude them out of the conversation when they get to talking about, well, what about if we was over here during Jim Crow? Hey, you came here by choice. You could have went back. We didn't flee from our homeland. And see that point that the minister just made here? Every single war that this country has ever had, we have fought in it. And then come back home and be treated as less than second-class citizens. Lynching our brothers and sisters and grandparents and great-grandparents in uniform at times, okay? So see, for those of us that know our history and are tied to our families very well, we take egregious offense at a Stephen A. Smith making the comments he made for the very reasons that the minister laid out here. And I'm going to let him continue here because, see, we have to get control of our own narratives and make sure that the Roland Martins and the Stephen A. Smiths, no matter what mainstream media cameras they put them in front of, we have to always let people know that they do not speak for us. They don't call no shots in black society, and the grassroots is going to make sure that. I want y'all to listen to what the rest of the minister says.
For you all, now here we are, 430 years of abuse.
Now, when immigrants come in, why?
Now, okay, that was the minister speaking on some things, all right? So I had to include this clip of one of our Grandmaster Elder teachers, Dr. Claude Anderson. He's going to be speaking on the economic part of our situation. Salute to you, brother CRU, brother Norma X. I see you in the chat. Salute to everybody that just came in. We're rocking on the second channel. I said, if you want to know what happened while we over here on this second channel, catch the earlier part of the broadcast, break that down, and fact of business, I'm going to throw this Rumble link in here. Those that just came, go over there. So to this channel, like I said, as soon as we hit 100 over there, we're going to be cooking with fish grease. Going to get into a lot of stuff because, like I said, if flag anything on my channel, I'm just going to come back harder, okay? But I want to prep you all for what Dr. Claude Anderson is about to say, because this brother and many other brothers and sisters that have given well over 40 years worth of work on behalf of black society, they were prophets in a sense. And see, this is why I tied this in right after the minister spoke, because see, the clowns like the Stephen A. Smith, the Roland Martins, and on and so on, they don't understand our position. And I don't expect them to. They don't have to understand it. We don't need to argue back and forth with them about why we make any decisions. I'll tell you what we do though. We make sure that they know that they're not going to undermine us or get in the way of what we need to do for our people, but not just ourselves, but future generations, okay? So I'm going to let Dr. Clark Anderson explain this. And a lot of you probably already heard this, but I ain't in here for a reason. So I'm going to let the good doctor speak.
Watch the benefits they get. They go past black folk at 200 miles an hour. They do better right here in Chocolate City. Now they're underneath the immigrants. Immigrants, they come in the country, they get a point over black folk for being an immigrant. Blacks are the only non-immigrant. 2, they classified, all of them are classified as whites. The Arabs, Asian, Hispanics, they all been reclassified as whites. Even American Indians back in the 1890s became classified as whites. They get a point. That's the second point. They get over black folk in getting access to resources and benefits. The third thing they get the benefits for being put into a minority category. Mm-hmm. They're classified as minorities over black folk. Thirdly, they come in with a culture that they can establish a culture that they can now build businesses and industries and relate back to their homeland. And lastly, what they can do, they also bring in a religious aspect and business opportunities for their people. Black folk get nothing, and they can come in and take and dominate black folk. That's why right now black folk have been buried as an underclass.
So now you heard Dr. Clark Anderson break that down, right? Okay, so at the end of the day, everything that we're dealing with in totality, it is economic warfare, it is social warfare, it is political warfare. We are literally fighting for our very lives. So when Stephen A. Smith made the comments that he made a week ago, and what you just saw in this broadcast here, a snippet from that broadcaster here, that podcast, whatever you want to call it, this is something that's no laughing matter to us. This is why every time we catch him, we will give his ass the wrath of God and put booster ass on this bastard. Because, see, I'm going to tell you right now, one of the things I'm going to be committed to doing, I give both political parties the business, but I'm going to crank the gears on that damn Democrat Party. I'm telling y'all, man, because, see, one of the things we got to do is make sure that all the Biden sexuals that voted for them bastards last time around and put this damn Jim Crow Joe in office and see them fucked up everything in this country, we got to make sure that they understand, okay, now that you did it your way and it was wrong, come over here and get on code with your people, okay? They sit there and let themselves be manipulated into making a decision out of fear. And as I've told y'all on previous broadcasts, you never make decisions out of fear. You never do that. Because anytime that you do that, you're going to make the wrong decision and it could cost you, okay, in a number of different ways. So I just want to bring this quick broadcast to y'all, let y'all know what was going on over here on this channel. I hope that you will go ahead and subscribe to the Rumble channel, all right? And as I said before, the Patreon broadcast that they got is going back up and it's going to be in more exhaustive detail. Like I said, 1 monkey or 2, don't stop no show over here. We will be back on the main channel soon, but we're going to keep this one going. I've been meaning to go ahead and put some content over here. It's long overdue. So go ahead and share this, like this. Make sure you subscribe, okay? Make sure you be on the lookout for everything that we're going to have on the way. We got a lot of changes coming. And I will see you all in future broadcasts. Black first, stay strong, stay safe. Salute.
A lot of misconceptions about Maroons. Typically in literature, whites will say that the Maroons were uncivilized, they were unorganized, they were lewd, they were barbaric. These were the people who lived in the bush.
There is no other group on the planet Earth that have taken on the devil the way we have. In his own house.
Some estimates say that there are about 50,000 Maroons that you can find per year throughout the Americas.
The Great Dismal Swamp was an area between that Virginia, North Carolina, the eastern border area. This was a popular area for a lot of not only runaways, but natives. A lot of the black natives hung out there. The Gullah Geechee were known in that area.
Because that's who we are. You can put us anywhere in the world. We are survivors.
If you are really tapped in with your environment and you become one with that ecosystem, right? You know what I'm saying? That ecosystem begins to work with you.
We were robbed of our definition of who we were in our tribe. and we fell into the description of what we were from someone else's eyes.
Resistance is not just about not only violence and physically fighting back, but there has to be resistance literature, resistance language.
A whole 2 detachments of U.S. soldiers got mowed down by the Black Seminoles. They destroyed an entire U.S. military force. Out of 110 people, they killed 108. That's damn good shooting.
The Black Seminoles were using all types of guerrilla warfare tactics, and these warfare tactics are studied in military schools to this day.
They didn't like Muslim slaves. The same reason they didn't like Indian slaves, because they weren't afraid to die.
Once you realize you're not safe, your children and your families aren't safe, the people who you're bringing in the world are not going to be safe long after you, there becomes a need to stand up and survive at all costs.
We are the Maroons. We are today's Maroons. We are the force that's moving forward. We will never be stopped.